My name's Ian Ziering. I grew up in West Orange, New Jersey. Started acting at age 4, mostly as class clown. Parlayed that into an acting career that started at age 12. Started modeling for department stores like Orbach's and Alexander's.
That's interesting.
And Macy's and things like that. And then TV commercials, and one thing led to another. And after school specials and some movies and soap operas and 90210 and Dancing with the Stars. And
Who'd you get to dance with on that?
I danced with Cheryl Burke. But then there's more. Then that led me to Sharknado and Celebrity Apprentice and Sharknado again. And all that success has landed me where I am today, unemployed. Well, that's just it. As an actor, every gig has a closing curtain. And one thing that comes for certain with every opening night is that closing curtain. So I never know what my next job is going to be, although Sharknado 4 is on the books. They haven't started writing it yet. But I'm one lucky son of a gun, because that's a movie I didn't want to do in the first place. It was...
Did they give you the, come on?
No, my wife... it was my wife, actually. I read the script and I thought it was horrible. Halfway through, I said, honey, I can't do this. This is going to kill my career. I'll never work again. And with my daughter Mia in her arms and Penna still in her belly, she said, you need to go to work. Yeah. And I realized, wow, she's right. I've got to take one for the team. I get my insurance, my health insurance, through the union. And you have to make a quota every year to get that top level of insurance. And having a baby 4 months later, I needed to make sure I was protected. But I didn't want to do it. I finished reading the script and saw, well, at least I get to saw my way out of the belly of a shark. That's not going to be too bad, but no one's ever going to see this movie. What the heck, I'll do it. And turned into Sharknado, which wasn't the title when I read it. It was Dark Skies. They lied to me. I never would have even opened up the first page if it said Sharknado.
You'd probably think Roger Cormick was making it, if that.
Yeah. Well, I've come to find that the Asylum, the production company that makes these movies, does that all the time. They say working title is whatever it is, because if they tell you the preposterous name that they're going to name whatever it is, nobody would do it. They're right. So, yeah, Sharknado. You guys, has everyone seen these crazy cockamamie movies? Yeah, huge Twitter, social media phenomenon, not just here in the United States, but all over the world, actually. And Sharknado 1 was so popular initially that when they repeated it, the ratings went up. And then they repeated it again, and the ratings went up even higher, which is unheard of in television movies. Usually the ratings, and then the ratings go down. But this kept rising. The popularity kept growing. And then they had a midnight showing of it, kind of like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I was invited to that in Los Angeles. And people were dressing up like sharks and tornadoes. And I'm thinking, this isn't even a Comic-Con, and these people are going nuts for this. So I realized then it was something special. With Sharknado 2, there were over 1 billion Twitter impressions, which is just astonishing. Even more so, Sharknado 3 garnered over 2 billion Twitter impressions. Amazing. So, first...
Sorry. Excuse me.
It's okay. Let me thank you guys for making that all possible, because nothing happens without the support of the fans. And I personally appreciate you coming here today, stopping by the booth to say hello, and spending your precious time up here listening to me babble. Does anyone have any questions for me? If you do, start lining up. I can answer whatever questions you might have. But in the meantime, when we first shot Sharknado 1, you remember that? You guys want to hear more 90210 or Sharknado? Oh. Okay, hold on. Just grabbing the microphone. Let me go back to 90210. That was 1990 to 2000. And when I got an audition for that, it was in New York City, and that was before fax machines, really. Well, maybe it was fax machines, I don't know. But I had to go into New York City to get the script. There certainly was no computers to see my audition scene. And I remember auditioning for The Class of Beverly Hills, which was the working title at the time. And I went into New York, and it had been about 18 months since I had a job. And I was getting kind of desperate. So I walked up into this office on Lexington Avenue, and I had to walk up 2 flights of stairs, because I remember this day. It was hot, sweaty, miserable. And it was a big office, and there was a stack of scripts that high, and then a legal pad that said, take a script and sign in. That's what you do. You sign your name and your agent, so they know you were there. But all these scripts, and no one had signed in. And it's an empty office. So I said, hello, anyone here? Some person in the back room said, yeah, just sign in and take a script. And I told you it had been a while since I had worked, right? So I'm looking at all these scripts. I'm looking at the blank legal pad with 50 opportunities for actors to be Steve Sanders. And I'm looking at the scripts. I'm hearing the woman say, just take a script and sign in. I'm looking at this. So I signed in. I wrote Ben Dover. And I took all the scripts. I stole 50 scripts. Stole's really a harsh word. I didn't really steal it. It's not stealing.
You sampled them.
Well, it wasn't really the most ethical thing. But being an actor is a very competitive job. If any of you are pursuing that, make sure you have a plan B, because you can't count on it. And I was very desperate, so I took all the scripts. My audition was the next day, and they put me on tape in front of Tim Hunter, who was the director at the time. And everyone came in and said, hey, do you have the audition scene? There just weren't any scripts yesterday. And I heard that, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to need the audition scene, too. All night I was working on my scenes. Kelly Taylor's the biggest bitch in all of Beverly Hills. Had to get that out. But I workshopped the 3 scenes I had that audition, and I owned it. I went in there. No one knew what they were doing. And gave my audition. A couple days later, Fox Studios calls. They want to screen test me. Pretty excited about that. They fly me out to California. And they say, if you get the part, we're going to start shooting 3 days later, so pack a bag. So, of course, I packed a bag. And I get to the executive offices in Fox Studios out in California. And I'm sitting in the hallway along with some other actors. I remember seeing Brian Green in the hall over there, some other actors reading for other stuff. But I was just concentrating on my own stuff. And I get nervous when I audition. So I always put a little Vaseline on my gums so I don't do this in the middle of an audition. It's terrible. Your mouth dries out, your lips don't work, and you're a freak, and they don't hire you. So I put a little Vaseline up there, and it keeps my lips lubricated. It's fantastic. So next to me is this bigger blonde dude, and he's kind of saying his lines out loud. I'm like, I'm under my voice, shut up, shut up, because I'm. And then to the other side of me is. He looked more Italian. He was more ethnically Italian, like a darker skinned, good-looking kid, also reading for Steve Sanders. And he goes in first, and I'm sitting outside. The door's just on the other, like as close as I am to you. I'm hearing everyone laugh in there. The guy's obviously killing it. It's exactly what you don't want to hear when you're going in next. But the door opens and the kid walks out. He's got this look on his face like he's not sure whether he had brain surgery or not. So I knew that he wasn't confident. I knew that they were either laughing with him, but most likely laughing at him. You know, the courtesy. Yeah. But I didn't know. So they said, Ian, are you ready? And I said, I am absolutely ready. And I walked into that office, and it was a small office, and there must have been 18 people in this office sitting on the sofa, sitting on the backs of chairs, on the backs of the sofas. Aaron Spelling was there. Barry Diller, the top executive at Fox at the time, was there. I just recognized all these people. And I did the same 3 audition scenes that I had done for the audition, my first audition. And Aaron Spelling said, Ian, thanks so much for coming. And I'm thinking, that's the kiss of death. Thanks so much for coming. I know you came all the way out here from New Jersey, and we really appreciate that. You did a great job. Oh, kiss of death. So I said, all right, well, thank you very much. It's really nice meeting you all. I wish you all the best of luck with the project. Take care. Did the best I could. That's all I can do as an actor. You don't really have control over getting the job. You just have to hit your mark and deliver a powerful audition. And for me, that's a victory. I can't be the guy every time. I know that. That's how I deal with the rejection. But as I walked out, the Italian dude comes up to me and says, so, how'd it go? And I went like this. Oh, man, it went great. Just to get in his head. I think they hired the right Steve Sanders. So that's my how I got that job. A little bit about Sharknado. Man, it's a really inexpensive movie. Really. Like I'm telling you something you don't know. Blood is red. Why is it black? Because it's cheaper, I guess. I don't know. I see this movie. Mark Cuban and I were laughing. I said, just make it all broad. It doesn't matter. They're just going to make it look like it's real. So he's got the scene where he throws a hand grenade. Maybe you've seen it. He was very careful. He had like some dental work. He didn't want to pull the hand grenade with his teeth. He thought maybe he'd lose a cap or something. So we kind of loosened it, and it looked like he pulled it. And then, of course, he throws it. And, of course, a shark eats it and explodes. And I go like this. And there's no blood on me. But it looks like it showers over me. But no blood on me. I mean, do you pick up this stuff in these crazy movies? I'm like, how come there's no blood on this guy? So they're a tremendous amount of fun to make. It's difficult. We work 12-hour days, and we don't stop shooting. Quite often, the director will hand me new words to say just before I say them. And I'm looking at this new scene, and I'm like, what? Really? And I look up, and I'm working with Chad Ochocinco. No wonder why I have to say this ridiculousness, because Chad Ochocinco, every day, I didn't know who was going to show up. Oh, Neo. Hey, dude, you're a musician, right? You're Neo? He's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. I never know. I never know who's going to show up other than David Hasselhoff, who was awesome, by the way. The Hoff is awesome. So much love for that guy. Really, really incredible. We get to a scene, I'm working with the Hoff, and then all of a sudden, Penn and Teller. I'm like, how the hell did they get you guys? What?
Well, let me ask you a question I've always wanted to know. There's so many celebrities that are part of Sharknado. It seems like they're fighting to be part of Sharknado. Like, everybody now wants to be a part of it. Is that at all surprising to you, how many people want to be part of the phenomenon?
No. I mean, anytime there's some
but like,
culturally iconic movie, who wouldn't want to be a part of it?
I would like to be.
Yeah, well, bring bribe money, like everyone else did.
Excellent.
Let's take a question.
In Sharknado 3, did you like the idea of the double laser chainsaw?
Yes, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, because it's crazy and it's ludicrous. And if we're going to space, I kind of need a lightsaber chainsaw. Next.
How does it feel to be in a movie that doesn't use its special effects budget?
Did y'all hear that? How does it feel to be in a movie that doesn't use its special effects budget? Where's your dad? Who told you to say that? Because that is so damn funny. Seriously, whose kid is this? Oh my God, that's the funniest thing ever. There is a special effects budget, but it's small. Special effects are typically the most expensive thing in a movie. It's very time consuming. The Asylum, the production company that shoots this movie, has an in-house team of special effects artists that work very hard, get paid very little probably, to make these movies what they are. Excellent question. You're very astute. That was great. How does it feel to be in a movie that doesn't use its special effects budget? It's great. What can I answer for you?
What was your favorite Sharknado?
I'd have to say Sharknado 2. Yeah, because after Sharknado 1, I had much more trust. In Sharknado 1, Anthony Ciferante, our director, there was this really long running scene. He's like, okay, and there's sharks falling out of the sky, and they're falling all around you, so make sure you jump out of the way and dive and roll and pitch. And I'm like, really? And, you have to really have faith and believe and trust, because if I go like this, well, if they paint a small shark, it make me look like a clown, So my actions have to be supported by my reactions, though actions at the time, need to be supported visually by plausible special effects. It has to match. If I take a bat and hit a ball, the ball's going to go exactly how far as I hit it with the bat. But if the ball goes way far and I go like this with a bun, it doesn't match. So same thing with what I'm doing as an actor. And I didn't have that trust. So I'm running through this parking lot and I'm running. I'm like, praying that they're going to throw something in there to make it look right. And again, in Sharknado 1, I never thought anyone was going to see this movie. I didn't know Sci-Fi was planning on airing it. I probably wouldn't have done it if I knew it was actually going to be seen. I literally thought this movie would be on DVD and nobody would see it. So you know what? Hey, I'm a professional. I came to work. The director asked me to do something. I did it. But I didn't have faith. It was blind faith. After I saw Sharknado 1, I'm like, oh, they didn't clown me. They made all my actions plausible reactions with sharks or whatever it is. So in like Sharknado 2, I'm like running up, like batting stuff out of the sky. There was fire falling down on me. I'm like, this is great. They asked me there was this scene where I'm on top of a taxi cab and I had to jump across sharks. So we did that in an environment that was all green. So they made it like a green screen kind of thing. And had to jump from hump to hump to hump that they were going to make shark backs. So like the first time I did it, Ann says, all right, it's great, we're moving on. I'm like, give me one more shot at it. Next time I jumped, I did a cartwheel off the next one, I jumped on this one. Because I knew that they would make it look realistic. That didn't make the cut, unfortunately, but. So, I don't know, did that even answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I get carried away here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was your favorite scene that you shot in Sharknado 3?
Sharknado 3, we had a strike right in the middle of the movie. These are non-union made films, and when the union found out where we were, they kind of shut down production and threatened all the crew that they'll never be in the union if they don't strike with the union. So my favorite scene never got filmed. There was a moment in Sharknado. You guys all see Sharknado 3, most anyway? I'm telling you, there's this Winnebago scene, The Beast, where we're driving, and we had about 100 motorcycle gang members. They were to look like gang members. Most of the guys were from Sons of Anarchy. And they were going to help us, and that's where I was delivered this double-bladed chainsaw. Do you remember seeing a double-bladed chainsaw? Well, there was some spectacular heroics that never got to be used in this movie because we had delays. and time is money, and we just couldn't make up the time. So that double-bladed chainsaw just wound up being placed on top of the car before the fog-nado, where I get sucked out of the car. But my favorite part of Sharknado 2 is going to be in Sharknado. I'm sorry, my favorite part of Sharknado 3 is going to be in Sharknado 4. I said, because it's just too awesome. That double-bladed chainsaw has a button on it, so the blades run this way parallel, but when you hit the button, the blades go out sideways. So it goes from this angle to this angle. How badass is that, right? So I'm thinking, what kind of choreography can I come up with this? So I worked it out where, this is going to be a spoiler. Do you want to know? Really? You want to know? It's going to... All right, what the heck? So they haven't even written Sharknado 4 yet. But they'll be... Take that video off. This is not going online. Yeah, you, curly hair. Talking to you. I see you. So, you know that double-bladed chainsaw? Within the Sharknado, there'll be a shark flying at me, and I'll jam the blades into his mouth, because he's flying at me this way, and I'll jam the blade into his mouth, and I'll use his weight to take him over me, but just as the chainsaw is in his mouth, I'll hit the button, so the blades go out behind his neck, and then I'll spin in the air, cut his head off, and then I'll yank his jaws out. Right? That's the choreography. They let me develop my own choreography in Sharknado 2. I said, okay, that chainsaw must have been about 50 pounds. How much do you weigh?
Like 70.
Okay, so not quite as much as you. So they wanted me to do all these heroic things with this chainsaw. Dude, pick up that chainsaw. Let me see you swing that thing. Where's the foam prop one? Because this sucker's heavy. It's a timber chainsaw. They cut down huge redwoods with this thing. I couldn't lift it in the air and look cool like I would like to. So instead, I said, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm on top of this fire truck. Instead, I'm going to lean back, and I'll hold it up, and you'll have the shark fly through it. It'll fricassee it just like that. It's going to be great. And they're like, oh, okay. And that turned out to be one of my more favorable kills in Sharknado 2. I thought, I kind of missed a good kill scene in Sharknado 3 because we never got it. But Sharknado 4, I told Anthony, I said, we're shooting this first. So, thanks for your question. Hi.
Before they told you,
Can you talk a little louder into that microphone?
before they told you, on the chainsaw, did you think it was actually a metal?
Did I think the chainsaw was metal?
Actually, like a metal, like for a trophy.
Oh, you mean the Royal Order of the Golden Chainsaw?
Yes.
I wonder if this stuff is all alcohol-induced creativity. I say, Thunder, seriously, were you drinking? Are you doing anything, Thunder? Because how do you come up with this? I thought it was a trophy, but it turned out to be a real chainsaw. And you can go buy that chainsaw at Home Depot. It's not gold. I think Makita makes it. And I am the only member of the Royal Order of the Golden Chainsaw you have before you. It's pretty proud of that. It's on my resume. Thank you. Thank you. I saved millions of people to get that honor. Thank you.
Knowing what I know that you did it all for your family, do you have any regrets, or is it opened up a whole new market of fans for you now?
Any regrets?
You see that the families are here. I mean, that are friends of 90210 and your older stuff. Now, we're all fans of Sharknado, and their children, and you're touching generations with your acting now.
Any regrets? Oh, hell no. No, you know, this is karma, I guess, or just good luck. I've always tried to be a good guy and do good things for other people, so maybe that's kind of helped out a little bit.
Definitely.
But yeah, this really, like I said, was an effort to just provide for my family. It turned out to be better than anyone could have anticipated.
Everything does happen for a reason.
Okay.
Hi there. My autistic son wasn't able to make it today. Can I video this answer?
Sure.
Sure, okay. Let me get this set up here. Which celebrity were you most surprised to see in Sharknado 3 or Sharknado 2?
Judd Hirsch in Sharknado 2 was a bit of a surprise for me. Been a big fan of his since the Taxi days. When he showed up, I was pretty psyched. I was a big fan of Taxi. In Sharknado 3, every day people would show up and they'd be a surprise. Probably Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff was a nice welcomed addition to Sharknado 2. I'm very flattered to play his son, even though he's only about 8 years older than me.
You didn't know he was coming up?
Say that again?
You didn't know he was appearing?
Not till a few days before we started shooting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
What was your kind of initial reaction to finding out about how popular Sharknado had gotten?
You know, I'm a family man. I'll do whatever it takes to provide for my family. So I'm in Las Vegas stripping. Working for the Chippendales. It's not like that. It's flirty. It's not dirty. My mom would be proud to know that I had done that. But and I was on stage, and my phone was in my little dressing room area, and I would come off, and I always check my phone to make sure the wife or the kids, no one was. And all of a sudden, knowing that Sharknado was airing and thinking that it was going to be nightmare for me, I'd come off, and my phone would not stop alerting. It was buzzing and flashing and vibrating and ringing, and any possible way the phone could alert you, my phone was doing this. And it had never done that before. I had like a Samsung Galaxy. What the hell's going on here? And I turn it over, and it's like Sharknado. Like, my texts were all like Sharknado. I'm like, it's my worst fear. And I had to go back on stage again. And I'm on stage doing my thing, thinking, I'm never gonna work again. I hope this Chippendales hires me full time, because I'm done. And I come back again, and I've got a few more minutes this time, and I'm looking, and the responses were all positive. And I was like, huh? What? Are they seeing the same movie that I did? Are they maybe seeing something else? Is there a parallel universe going on here? Could it possibly be? I thought maybe they were all joking, but the positive response was so overwhelming, I just so blown away. I didn't see the movie until the next morning, and was pleasantly surprised myself. I kind of got it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. It's fun. This is kind of like, it's its own new genre now. It's the kind of movie where everyone's in on the joke except the actors. What other movie can you go to see that? It's like, and it's become appointment television, which is really nice because people come together to watch it. You know, the ratings for Sharknado 3 were down, but the fan response doubled. And they're not really worried about the ratings anymore, because did anyone watch it alone? No, you watched it with like friends or people, and there were parties. I mean, where's the little girl who had like Sharknado parties? Like 10-year-old girls watching Sharknado. So they know that this is it's really a family movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, first off, I looked at the title and I said, I'm never going to pick that up. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I did hear that they got rid of the tornadoes by putting bombs in them. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sure how the science is on that.
Well, I'll
Why-
tell you. Barometrically speaking, the pressure within inside a tornado is such that it can be equalized by an explosive device, thus bringing everything to balance. Security. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, but why didn't they do that in the sequels?
Well, they did it in Sharknado 2. We threw, but the storms were bigger. And when you're dealing with like small bombs and big storms, it's just not enough pressure to equalize the barometric imbalances. So, in Sharknado 3, the only way, because it was such a cataclysmic storm, the only way to equalize the pressure from the inside to what's going on outside, to collapse it, following me? Was to put a spire of fire right through the belly of the beast. And the only way that could be accomplished is with a space shuttle. Next question.
As a Celebrity Apprentice alum, what are your thoughts on Donald Trump's run?
You know, I think Donald Trump's a very capable man. Whether you agree with what he says, that's another story. He has done amazing things in New York City. Whether he'll be a great president, who knows? I'm going to cast my vote when I hear all the politicians speak and decide then. But I think he's a capable man, and we all say dumb things once in a while. He says some very great things, too, but, you know, I don't agree with everything he says, but I don't agree with everything Obama does, too, so.
Were you surprised at all?
No, I told him to run. I said, so you should run for president. He's like, you think I'd win? I'm like, I think you got a shot. Yeah. He says, you all think I should run? And we're like, yes, Mr. Trump. Of course, we're kissing his butt, whatever. Yeah, he's a manager. I mean, the guy knows how to delegate. Where he may not be the most intelligent or smartest man, he'll find whoever it is to accomplish whatever he needs, whatever task it needs to be to overcome. So I think, you know, more than his bravado, I think his ability to deliver speaks pretty loud. Again, I'll vote for who I feel is the best man when I've heard everyone speak.
Thank you.
Thank you. What do you guys think? Donald Trump for president? No? Not in Ohio.
You know, that fellow's question just made me think that Trump might be a good cameo in Sharknado 4.
We almost had him in Sharknado. We almost had him in Sharknado 3 to play the president of the United States. Right.
I was curious as to how the chainsaw became the weapon of choice against sharks, and probably everybody can't see your insignia there, but with the chainsaws.
Double chainsaw. You can go to chainsawbrands.com and find your own chainsaw clothing.
Yeah, and so I was curious how you decided on a chainsaw. I mean, I think it's genius because the blood flies and everything, but
yeah.
And can you reveal whether, I guess it was your wife that lived or not at the end?
In Sharknado 3, have you all seen? Doesn't matter. The end of Sharknado 3, a huge piece of space debris falls on April Shepherd, and that's how the movie goes out, and you see, cast your vote, hashtag April lives, hashtag April dies. So it's really up to the audience to put it out there on all the different social mediums, hashtag for or against her surviving that piece of space debris. What do you think? April lives or April dies? Hands. April lives? Hands.
Lives.
April dies? I think April lives. I've got to say April lives. I think it just helps propel the story. Steve. Finn is a family man. Not intoxicated, I promise. Finn is a family man. He goes to he's an ordinary guy who goes to extraordinary lengths to keep his family safe. And I think she's an integral part of his motivation. And the chainsaw is not an instrument of violence to him. It's an instrument for him to overcome obstacles, for him to break down barriers. And it just happens to be very handy at killing sharks.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
In Sharknado 18, or wherever we end up.
From your mouth to God's checkbook, buddy.
What would be your ideal way to go out if you had to die?
I mean, you took my question.
Since
You're saying I die?
Eventually, I mean.
Security.
Hashtag.
Well, hashtag Finn lives, hashtag Finn dies. But if you could choose, or pass it on to the next generation, what would be?
It's funny because when I saw the baby in the script, I was like, "It's a girl, right?" Like, no, it's a boy. No, it's got to be a girl. It's got to be a girl. No, it's a boy. So I gave birth to my replacement. In sci-fi times, that baby's going to be like 9 years old in Sharknado 4. I'll get one or two out of this before my 35-year-old son isn't successful in rescuing me out of the belly of the beast. I think, how would Finn die? Frankie Muniz really had such a beautiful death in Sharknado 3. He got bitten to pieces slowly and was able to hit the button with his nose just to. I think that maybe if Finn gets swallowed for the 18th time. And you see him inside the belly, just the shark, and maybe the shark lives and goes into water, and you just don't know. Yeah. Anybody got a better Finn to Finn? See, nobody wants him to die. Sit down.
Since we've established your character's not die, how up for would you be having your character meet Steve Sanders in the middle of another Sharknado movie?
Whoa.
Steve Sanders dies?
Steve Sanders replaces you.
Steve Sanders plays Finn in the movie.
There we go.
Yeah! Steve, say it like this. Are you directing me? No. That would be kind of freakish and bizarre.
Royalty check, I'll give you the address later on that.
Okay, I'll work on that. I'm still good friends with Jason and Luke and Brian and all my friends from 90210, and I'll get one of them in the next one.
Thanks.
Yeah, it'll be a little weird, but I'll get them.
How do you get every chainsaw you pick up to almost instantly start with one pull? Just
magic hands.
I didn't know if there was a specific brand that ensures that.
It's all in the hands.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Uh-oh.
It's movie magic. Oh, brother. This kid again.
Here we go.
All right, yes. Do you have a question?
Do you think the Sharknado movies are going to have a reboot anytime soon?
Do I think they're going to have a reboot?
I think you might.
We're going to do Sharknado 4. It'll air next July. And then we'll do a couple clip shows and some reunion specials. And then after popular demand, they'll probably bring it back for a reboot after that. So going to kick your butt, kid. Are you his brother?
No.
Okay. Say it!
Besides going to the Comic-Cons and to see your fans, What other reasons do you like coming to Comic-Cons?
There really are no other reasons. You know, that's pretty much it. It's really great to, these movies and everything that I've done really come with a bit of risk, because either people will like it or they don't. And most people have jobs where you don't get the kind of acknowledgement that you do from being on camera. My dad was a school teacher. You know, no one would come up to him if he was away from school to say, "Hey, man, I dig what you did," or whatever. So I'm very appreciative of that. I don't take it for granted. And I think coming to these events is a great opportunity for me to, you know, meet all the super fans that are out there that will actually come to an event like this, and thank them for the support and enthusiasm and for what I do. I genuinely appreciate it.
Understandable.
Glad I could make that clear for you. Oh no. Yeah.
If you could have anyone in the movie, who would you pick?
You. Are you kidding? Charm, good looks, animal magnetism. You'd be my guy. Who other than you? Maybe Bruce Willis, Bruce Campbell.
Oh, dueling chainsaws.
Yeah. Never mind. Forget Bruce Campbell. He's got his own chainsaw gig. I'll go with Bruce. Yeah, Bruce Campbell. That'd be great. Yeah. Who would you like to see? Who? Captain America? Oh, we're going to go into superheroes? Okay, those are good choices. Yeah. You could turn that mic up. It's, yeah.
So I just thought of another gag or idea to add to Sharks. Now that there are so many zombie and other fantasy ideas, what would you think of zombie sharks, vampire sharks, cyborg sharks, or should it just stick with traditional live sharks?
Now you're just being silly.
I think because there's such an affinity for sharks, I think any iteration would be welcomed by the viewing public. Who doesn't love sharks? They're the apex predators out there. So zombie sharks, if they haven't done it, sure. Someone came and pitched
Alien sharks?
Alien sharks, yeah. I mean, Sharktopus. They're already ghost sharks. What can I answer for you?
Whenever you were younger, like, I don't know, like a kid.
Well, because I'm old now?
No. But whenever you were younger, like what actor or whatever inspired you to become who you are now?
Okay, that's a great question. What actor inspired me when I was younger? I was born in 1964, and shortly after I was born, when I had consciousness, I remember seeing a TV show called Lost in Space. Remember Lost in Space? Yeah. Well, Lost in Space had this young kid on it. His name was Will Robinson. And Will Robinson was so cool because he and his family used to travel the galaxy in the Jupiter 5, their spaceship. And he had a robot, and he had Dr. Smith, who was the science officer on the ship, and he was kind of crazy. They also had a monkey. They had a few different things. But he was my inspiration. That's when I understood, like, oh, this isn't real. This is acting. He's just kind of playing at it. Well, I wanted to do that. When I was little, I had dyslexia, so it made it very difficult for me to compete in school. Whenever we'd have reading group in 2nd and 3rd grade, I had to read out loud. I'd get this anxiety, and I would start making jokes to take the focus off me to compensate for my scholastic inadequacies. And was very good at telling jokes and becoming the class clown, but I didn't have the ability to do the math and the reading. So I would go to a teacher for an hour a day within my public school to help me overcome that. So I always wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to sing and dance and just perform. Never really aspired to be a star. I think that's kind of a shallow pursuit. I think stardom is a byproduct that can be a double-edged sword. You lose a lot of privacy. There's a lot of good things to be said for it, but it becomes a responsibility because you got young kids out there looking at you, making sure, doing what you do kind of thing. So, you know, it was Billy Mummy that was my inspiration from Lost in Space.
Cool.
Cool.
On Celebrity Apprentice, what was your favorite challenge to do with that?
Every challenge was my favorite challenge. I ate that every day. That was the toughest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It was 6 days a week. We would do 3 projects in those 6 days. Every other day we were being assigned a new task. And, you know, at first it's very easy to skate because there's enough people, as long as you're just not the worst. If your team goes down, you're not going to be brought into the boardroom. But as the numbers dwindle down, if your team loses and there's only 2 or 3 people on your team, it's likely you're going to go into the boardroom too. So my goal every task was to be the MVP, whether I was a project manager or not. And you know, you deal with a lot of personalities that are different than your own. People have different operating systems, and being that I was supercharged by my efforts to raise money and awareness for epidermolysis bullosa, which is a horrible skin disease that affects little kids. They're born with it, and in severe cases die from it. I wanted to do everything I possibly could. I looked at the Celebrity Apprentice as a financial vehicle. Wasn't something I was doing to make me more popular. It was just something that I thought that I could do a lot of good for other people. I ended up raising $320,000 for my cause. I was on every show produced. Thanks. ebkids.org. If you want to know more about EB, it's a horrible disease. It's a monster on earth. If you guys want to check it out, give a couple bucks. Every dime helps. Money buys science. Science buys life.
Definitely.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right, we have time for one more question. Some closing comments.
Can you
from
sing
our
it,
guest.
or like
That'd be
haiku, rhyming couplets? Let's change
I
it
can
up.
try singing it if you would really like.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. What are some of the funniest moments you've had on set?
Well, thank you for that. What are from what set?
Any from Sharknado in particular, or just some of the funny moments that have really stuck out?
When in Sharknado, working with, do you know who Mark Cuban is? He's a billionaire, like has so much money. By the way, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He's so genuine, he's so smart, he's so funny. He's got self-deprecating humor. He's just a regular Joe who happens to be really smart and really funny. So we have this one scene where I'm with Mark, and he's the president. We come out of the elevator, and Anthony, our director, is trying to motivate him how serious this is. Okay, there's sharks. They're flying everywhere. And you're really mad. You're really pissed off. It's like, and Mark is listening to this. Is that my phone?
Yes, thankfully.
Honey, I'm in a panel right now. I'll call you right back, okay? All right, bye. Love you. Wife calls, you got to answer. So Mark is like listening to this, and he's like, you know, he's taking direction. He's getting really excited about it. And Anthony's like, and you're really mad. You're really mad. It's like someone stole $500,000 from you. And Mark goes, I wouldn't even know it was missing. You know, if there was one cell of pompousness to Mark Cuban, that could have gone horribly wrong. But he's the nicest guy, and who could say something? Who wouldn't miss $500,000? But him. So that was, that's like everyone had to take 5 minutes because they were laughing so hard with him on that it was just a great, genuine, funny moment that could only be said by a handful of people in the world. So thanks. I've got to wrap up. We're getting the timeout sign. So thank you very much. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you all taking the time away. Means a lot to me. If you want to vote for April Lives or April Dies, just on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, hashtag April Lives, hashtag April Dies. I'm on Twitter at Ian Ziering. Find me, follow, whatever. I always post crazy stuff. And thanks for your help up here. Big help.
Yeah, well, you know. Do what I can.
Thank you so much, everybody.